You might know a kid who's kind of a spoiled kid. You might know a kid who's kind of, an entitled brat. But this is the most spoiled kid on planet Earth, and I guarantee that. Today we got a story time where the subscriber goes to see his super spoiled cousin, and he turns out to be the worst kid ever. I know you'll enjoy it, so sit back, relax, subscribe if you're new, leave a like on the video right now to claim your free nothing. Limited time deal, fantastic offer. With that all being said, let's just jump right into it. So we're going to call the subscriber who submitted this story Ryan, and Ryan had not seen his little cousin in about 2 years at this point. And we're going to call the little cousin, or Ryan's little cousin in the story, Ben. So the thing is, 2 years ago, they just had a kind of, not a falling out, but I know that Ryan's mom and Ben's mom just didn't really leave on good terms. So Ryan's mom was always they were always a somewhat middle class normal family. They never had to struggle that much, but they also never were able to do anything that fun. If they were going to have a vacation, it would be I don't know, their vacations would be down the street. You go to the hotel there. You're not going to Fiji, or you're going to France or whatever. And the thing is, Ben, Ryan's cousin, would literally have a vacation every 2 months to the most exotic place on planet Earth. But that wasn't the reason why they had a falling out. The reason why they had a falling out was that it was actually Ben's mom. So Ryan's cousin Ben, his mom, or I guess Ryan's aunt. Dude, I'm not good with family trees. But basically, Ben, the spoiled kid, it was his mom, so Ryan's aunt. It was her wedding, and Ryan and his mom showed up, and Ryan's parents couldn't afford $1,000 to give her in a wedding gift. So they got her something that was fairly sentimental, right? They were I don't know, it was a sentimental gift. But since I don't know, Ben's mom was kind of everyone else at the wedding was giving her oh, here's gold encrusted carrot for you. It restores the most hunger with good saturation. It's great in Minecraft. And they give her oh, here's I don't know, gold encrusted whatever, or just really expensive stuff. And then so basically Ben's mom had a very snarky comment to Ryan's mom about how it's a cheap gift or something like that. And after that point, they kind of had a falling out. However, 2 years past that point, Ryan's mom and Ben's mom kind of got on the phone together. And since I think they're sisters, I think that's how it works. Somehow they're closely related, right? They decided that they got to get over it. Their family, they're not going to live forever. And that it's just important for them to stick together. And something petty like that is ridiculous. I think both sides apologized for the way that they reacted, which, I do understand, some people might be why did Ryan's mom, apologize? She didn't do anything besides getting a gift for her sister who had a wedding. But at the same time, Ryan's mom did cut them off for 2 years. So there's not really anyone who is, in the complete clear in that one. But either way, both of them kind of chill out with each other and are on good terms. So Ryan's mom informs Ryan that he's going to go this summer, that they're going to go stay a week at, Ben's mom or her sister's house or whatever, and that, it's going to be a great time because they have a really good house and they live in a pretty cool neighborhood type place, and it's near, I don't know, it's on the shore, so maybe they're in Cape Cod or Nantucket or one of those places, right? So there's going to be a lot of fun things for Ryan to do there, and Ryan kind of looks at his mom and is yeah, but I know I'm going to have to hang out with Ben. And the thing is, right, ever since Ben was a little kid, he was kind of a notorious spoiled brat. He was not that fun to hang out with. But, Ryan's mom was you know what, Ryan? Ben was 2 years ago. I know 2 years doesn't sound like a long time, but, since he's a younger kid, they mature really quickly. He's probably a much better person now. I think that you're not giving him a good opportunity to prove himself. And Ryan's all right, I'm not going to make a stink about it. Obviously, that's very nice of them to invite us up there. So, yeah, that's fine. It's all good. So, eventually, the summertime rolls around, and Ryan gets in the car with his mom, and they drive up about 2 hours to go see, Ryan's little cousin Ben and, Ryan's mom's sister. So, they already know that something's that this is not your normal house. Because they're driving up, right? They're driving up to go see this guy, to go to Ben's house, or I guess Ryan's mom's sister, but same thing, right? They're going up to the house, and it's a different house when you have to enter a driveway just to get to their house, and the driveway to get to their house takes 3 minutes to drive. And I don't mean a driveway down a street. I mean a driveway to their house. Like, this was like a mega mansion, bro. This thing was huge. Yeah, and at this point, like, Ryan kind of turns to his mom and is like, this kid's house is like enormous. Like, we haven't even gotten there yet. And Ryan's mom's like, yeah, you do remember, like, my sister's like husband is a very successful banker, or I don't know, he invented Apple. He's Steve Jobs' guy. He's back from the dead. I don't know, man. But yeah, like, they're very successful, and like this isn't really surprising. However, Ryan was just like admiring the drive up there, because they had like crazy plants from all over the country, or all over the world, I should say. It was super green and lush, and it was beautiful. They eventually get up to the house, and Ryan's mom gets out of the car, and her sister gets out, and they kind of embrace each other, because I don't think they've seen each other in person ever since they had the falling out over the wedding. So now at this point, Ryan gets out and he sees Ben. And Ben's kind of just looking at him, and Ben isn't like looking like disgusted or anything. He's like, oh no, how did the Poors break through our gate? Mother, shoot him now. He isn't like doing anything crazy like that. However, he isn't looking like that excited to see him. But then again, he's still like a 13-year-old kid. Like, he's still a kid, and Ryan being 16 is significantly older, right? So he can't be like, wow, why isn't this 13-year-old like showing his best behavior and manners? Like, yeah, it's not great, but the kid was 13, so it doesn't really matter. So Ryan goes up to him. He's like, hey, Ben, it's been a while since I've seen you. And Ben's like, yeah, like, it's been a second. Good to see you again. And Ryan's like, all right, this kid seems nice enough, whatever. And after Ryan's mom and her sister, right, are done, like, embracing for the first time in 2 years, they're like, oh, like, Ryan's sister, like, Ryan's mom's sister. I'm just going to say Ben's mom from here on out. Ben's mom's like, oh, you guys should come inside, like, bring your stuff in, whatever, right? So they go inside the house, and let me just say, the house has like 4 floors to it. It's a crazy epic house. They got a massive pool and water slide in the back. It's like just an awesome house, right? So they get in there, and the guest floors are on like the 4th floor. So Ryan's like walking up all the floors, and he's just like, oh my God, is this a house or a hotel, bro? Like, I swear to God, like, you could have the entire like city, and like, you could have my entire neighborhood live in this house, and there'd still be a bedroom left over at this point. So they got up to the final floor, they put their stuff in there, and they walk down. And at this point, Ryan's mom is talking with Ben's mom, because they had kind of had like 2 years at this point of like not speaking to each other. So they had at least 2 years of catching up to do, right? So at this point, Ryan's mom's like, hey, Ryan, how about you just go catch up with Ben, your little like cousin or whatever? And Ryan kind of gives a look to his mom of like, bro, like, dude, like, we all know what this kid is like. Because Ryan, while being fine going on this trip, right, wasn't necessarily trying to spend an exorbitant amount of time with his little cousin Ben, because he still had an assumption that he was pretty spoiled. But Ryan's mom kind of gives him a death stare of a do what I say or you will explode at 3 a.m, and he's like, okay, fine, whatever. So Ryan walks over and or goes over to Ben, and Ben's like, yeah, come up here, I'll show you my room. So Ben opens up his door, and sure enough, his room is Ben's room is pretty awesome. There's everything that a kid could ever want. You got on one desk, you got an Xbox, you got a PC with a massive monitor, and it's it's an expensive PC, right? You got the Lego Death Star, which was fire. I had Lego Star Wars a little bit back in the day. I was more of a Star Wars action figure guy than a Lego guy, but even I could admire a Lego Star Wars, a Death Star. I know how crazy those are. Yeah, but anyways, just looking around the room, there's literally everything that a kid could want. And that's when Ben's like, dude, come over here. So Ron's like, all right, what's up? He walks over, and Ben opens up his closet door. And sure enough, there's a massive shoe rack. So Ben apparently is almost like a hype beast shoe collector. So you already know that this kid is the worst. I'm playing. If any of you guys like that stuff. I had a stint where I really, or a very small period of time where I was like, oh my God, if it has a Supreme logo on it, it's awesome. So I fell down that trap too, but I was broke, bro. I was a kid. I didn't have any money. So the most hypebeast thing I had were Supreme socks. Yeah, I unironically bought those because I was like, oh, I'm going to be cool now. I'm going to get all the ladies. Let me just say that was not the case, unfortunately. I really thought that for a second. And also, by the way, I said a couple videos ago, if we got 1,000 likes in a day, that I would tell you guys about the way I asked out my 8th grade girlfriend, which might be it's worse than any story I've ever told on here. I'm not even kidding you. And I'm sticking to my word. I will be doing that because it got 1,000 likes in like 5 hours or something crazy. So thank you again. I'm just going to be doing that a little bit later. I'm going to be doing it when I think the time is right, but I will now be doing it. So you guys have unlocked the cringiest story on planet Earth. Kind of hate you guys for that, but also thank you for the likes. Yeah, but anyways, so, you know, Ben is like, dude, take a look at these. And he pulls up like the Supreme Off-White Fear of God super sneakers with the tags or whatever and the box logo. And he just like pulls up this like pair of shoes that are low-key kind of ugly. And he's like, dude, guess how much these are? And Ryan already knew that this was going to be where things went downhill because the spoiled kid is literally saying just like, oh, guess how expensive these shoes are, right? And, you know, Brian doesn't really want to play that game, but he's like, whatever. He's like, I don't know, man, like $100. Because, like, bro, like Ryan just didn't involve himself anywhere in this world. And at this point, the spoiled kid, a.k.a. Ben, his cousin, starts literally maniacally laughing. Like, the kid is like an anime supervillain, bro. He's just laughing like he knows something. He's laughing like, I don't know, he has an evil plot. This kid is laughing like he's the Joker in Batman, bro. Like, it's ridiculous. And Ryan's like, what? And Ben's like, these go for $1,200 at retail. And Ryan's like, dude, why would someone pay $1,200 for shoes? And that's when Ben looks down at his shoes and says, I don't know, but why would someone even pay $10 for those stinkers? And he literally points at Ryan's shoes, which are like, dude, they're like Nike shoes. Like, they're very standard, normal shoes, right? I mean, yeah, sure, they're a little bit beat up, and that's for sure, right? However, they're very standard shoes. Like, I got some, like, Nike shoes on right now, and yeah, these things are really worn. Like, the bottoms are basically falling off. However, they work, bro. Like, they're solid shoes. They do the job. And kind of Ryan's looking at him like, bro, shoes are shoes, man. Like, as long as they're not doing damage to your feet and, like, you can walk in them properly, what's the point? And Ben's like, what's the point? The point is that they're expensive. And Ryan's like, well, I guess we got to agree to disagree about what's important in a shoe. And Ryan's like, or Ben's like, wait until you see this. My prized possession. He pulls out, like, I don't know, some other shoe. And it just looks ridiculous to Ryan. Because it's like Yeezy Supreme Bape collaboration shoe for $25,000 million. And, you know, and Ben's like, oh, and this one, guess how many of your shoes you'd have to, like, sell to get one of these shoes? Like, Ben literally uses the metric of how crappy Ryan's shoes are in his mind in comparison to how epic his shoe is. He's like, how many of your poor person shoes would you have to sell to have one of my expensive shoes? Like, literally being the worst ever. And in Ryan's mind, he's like, look, I knew that this kid was probably going to be a spoiled brat, right? But bro, this is a whole new level. Like, this is a whole new level of entitled kid, right? Like, this is a whole new, like, this is like, oh my, this is out of this world, bro. Real quick, if you made it this far into the video, comment spoiled down below. Spoiled will be the secret word of the day. I'll try and heart a bunch of comments to say spoiled. So if you're trying to farm some hearts on the channel, make sure to comment spoiled down below and I'll heart as many as I can. And also, if you want to support the channel, the best way you can do so is by watching this video all the way till the end. And then after that, when you guys have the time, if you do want to binge watch the old videos, you can either go to the playlist, which I'll leave in the pinned comment down below, which has all my videos, or just go to whatever YouTube recommends. Please let me know in the comment section if you're watching a bunch of my old videos. It really supports the channel. I'll try and heart and reply to those comments to say thank you. Anyways, let's get back to the story, right? So Ryan's just sitting in the shoe closet with his little cousin, and his little cousin's like, oh, and this hoodie over here goes for $1,200. How much does your hoodie go for? First of all, Ryan wasn't even wearing a hoodie. He was wearing like a Hanes t-shirt, which, I mean, it works, right? Hanes t-shirt's a Hanes t-shirt. It does the job, and it looks fine. And, like, at this point, like, Ben is like, dude, show me the tag. Like, show me the label on that. And Ryan's like, dude, it doesn't really have a label. It's like a Hanes t-shirt. And Ben's like, you mean Hanes X Supreme collab? And Ryan's like, no. Hanes X Bathing Ape collab? Ryan's like, no. Like, Hanes X Hanes collab, bro. Like, no collab there. And Ryan's like, wait, you mean it's a normal, or Ben's like, wait, you mean it's a normal Hanes t-shirt? Dude, is this like joking? Dude, if you're trying to be funny right now, you are hilarious. I'm just going to let you know. That was very funny. You're like entertaining me more than anyone else my mom has ever paid to entertain me. And Ryan's just like, what the frick, dude? Like, what is this kid on? Like, whatever drug, whatever substance this... I can't say these things. YouTube, don't be mad. Whatever this kid is on, bro, I'm trying to smoke some of that too. I can't be saying any of this. YouTube's going to be big mad at me. But anyways, right? So eventually he's called down by his mom, and they sit down and they have dinner. And of course, Ben's parents have or Ben has a personal chef, which, by the way, if you have any of these things that that the spoiled kid has, that doesn't mean anything bad against you. It's like you got a lucky hand in life. Like, as long as you don't let that go to your head, you're chilling in my book, because, you couldn't really control that either way. So I have nothing intrinsically against you. But if you're acting like Ben, then, bro, you're kind of asking for it. I'm not going to lie. Yeah, so when they're down there, the personal chef comes out, and he's cooked up, some crazy good meal. This meal is super good. It's I don't know, it's this, just imagine some kind of really exotic, fancy meal or something. And the thing is, though, it was a little bit out there. It was kind of it wasn't a hamburger from McDonald's. It was a little bit more complicated than that. So everyone around the table was kind of excited for this. Ryan and Ryan's mom look at each other we haven't had a meal this good since ... Oh, wait, the wedding. So it's been 2 years since the last time we saw these guys. Because, I don't know, Ryan's used to, a Chick-fil-A run, some Panda Express, which you can't complain about. But, I don't know, when you see this stuff in comparison, you're like, God damn, this is food. But the thing is, there was one person at the table that was not very happy about it. And it was Ben. And Ben was about to pitch the biggest fit ever. He was like, Garçon, come back here. Okay, I don't know why I called the French chef Garçon, but it seems to be fitting, because it's every Disney movie has the chef called Garçon, so we're going to call the guy Garçon. So Garçon, the chef, comes back in. He's like, yes. And Ben's like, he takes a bite of it. And he doesn't vomit it up, but he spits it back up into his napkin super aggressively, very, very clearly trying to make a point that he doesn't like what's being served, which, fair, you don't have to like everything. Even if something's considered a delicacy, that doesn't mean you have to like it, right? That's totally fine. If Ben was to say respectfully to the chef, hey, I appreciate the work you put in here, but at the end of the day, I just don't enjoy this type of stuff personally. Can you just cook me up some pasta or something real quick? I apologize, but could you do that? Then that would be totally fine, and I wouldn't have a single thing to say wrong about Ben. However, if you're having the chef come over and you puke it up into your napkin, dude, that's spitting in the face of the chef who spent hours and hours doing this. That's mad disrespectful. So the chef, being paid by them, has to hold his tongue, because I'm sure if this was just a normal guy, he would take a glove and slap him in the face. But yeah, he kind of holds his tongue. He's like, all right, Ben, or whatever, would you like something else then? And Ben's like, obviously, I'm definitely not going to be eating this, dude. So sure enough, the chef takes it away, and he whips him up some. He just Grubhubs McDonald's or something. I don't know, man. Something that Ben would like. And Ryan and his mom kind of look at each other what the heck is going on here, bro? This kid is crazy. And Ryan's kind of giving his mom a look of bro, I told you this kid was spoiled. I told you this kid was spoiled, bro. I told you. Yeah, but anyways, so the next day comes around, and they're just chilling, and it's kind of a hot day out. So Ryan's mom, or Ryan's sister, aka Ben's mom, says, "Hey boys, how about you get changed into your swimming trunks or whatever? You go out in the back." And in all fairness, Ryan was actually pretty excited to go out in the back, because it did seem pretty awesome. He's not gonna lie, it was a whole, I don't know, it was a whole water park back there. So Ryan's not going to lie to you guys and say that he wasn't at least a little bit excited to go back there. So he gets in his trunks and, he goes out. At this point, right, Ryan's like, wow, this thing's amazing. Because it wasn't just a big pool. It was a pool with a slide, but the slide was terraformed to make it look I don't know, it was a mountain, and you were sliding down a mountain, and there was fake palm trees all around. It was really beautiful and really pretty and really awesome. And Ryan was kind of excited, right? So he was having a good time. And about 30 minutes later, after Ryan was done kind of messing around on everything, both Ben and Ryan sit on like sun chairs or whatever to kind of chill in the sun and dry off. So at this point, Ryan was actually having a really good day, and he was like, okay, in his head, he was like, yeah, Ben was kind of a butt yesterday. However, today, he seems to be chilling, which is pretty cool, and like I can respect that, right? And almost as soon as Ryan is done thinking that exact thought, Ben opens his mouth and once again says something pretty out of pocket. So Ben opens his mouth and he says, like, you're welcome for me letting you stay at my awesome house. Which, like, what, bro? Why would you say that? Like, yes, it is implied. Like, it would be nice if at the end of the trip, Ryan, it would actually be very courteous if Ryan was to say, thank you for letting me stay at your house. But to tell someone, like, I bet you're super thankful that I'm letting you stay at my house, bro, that just defeats the whole purpose, bro. Like, obviously they're thankful. And even if they're not thankful, it would be the polite thing for them to say that. But that's on them to say it. That's not on you to force it out of them. Like, that's just some goofy behavior right there. So, yeah, I mean, Ryan kind of just looks at Ben and says, yeah, man, because, I mean, he's having a good time. But he definitely felt it was super weird that Ben was to say that to him. So he's like, yeah, man, like, I appreciate it. I do. And that's when Ben goes on to say, like, must be nice to have a break from your little tiny hut that you live in somehow, which was just the most condescending sentence you've ever heard. Like, imagine someone, like you're at someone's house and they're like, you're welcome for, like, getting you out of that little hut, that little broom closet, that little Harry Potter under the stairs closet that you call a house, bro. Like, dang, dude. Like, the thing is, too, like, Ryan's house wasn't that bad. It was, like, one story, but he had his own room. There was a kitchen. There was a TV. There was a couch. What else could you want, dude? Like, legitimately, what else could you want? Sure, he didn't have 17 floors, an elevator, a pool, a Disneyland in his backyard or whatever. However, he had a good family and he had a bed, he had a roof, he had a kitchen counter or whatever. He was chilling. So he kind of, like, ignores this comment. Ryan kind of, like, laughs a little bit to try and laugh it off because it was kind of an awkward situation. He's not going to lie. But, yeah, the kid actually continued on and is like, Ben's like, dude, like, I've been thinking about this recently. How do you actually live in those kind of situations? Like, I've seen some documentaries on TV. It's like, when my parents donate to those, like, organizations, does, like, a little bit of that go to you? Which, Ryan's low-key trying to hold his composure. He's not even mad. He's legit not even mad. He just thinks it's funny. It's just funny. Like, bro, are you serious right now? Like, are you real? The charities that are helping, people that are in, like, food insecure or in countries that don't have as good of, like, a support system, bro, like, you're grouping me in with them? Like, just because I can't go to, like, Fiji every 2 weeks, dude, are you serious? So, yeah, Ryan is just kind of looking at him. He kind of laughs it off or whatever. And nothing really else happens for the rest of the day. So on the third day, the next day, Ryan and Ben's mom decide that they want to go in and they want to go to, like, the whatever center and shop or whatever. And, Ryan and Ben, they have the option of staying in the house, which low-key Ryan was like, dude, I don't want to go shopping in some women's stores, bro. I'm not trying to do that. Like, I'm not trying to sit around in the chairs that are meant for the husbands, like, dude, I'm not trying to do that. Because, Ryan, he brought his computer. Maybe he was trying to watch some Netflix, maybe trying to play some games or something. But obviously, right, Ben is like, wants to go to the Hypebeast store, the shoe locker store and buy all the shoes in there or something. And, Ryan's mom's like, Ryan, since, you don't get to see your little cousin that often, you should come along too. And Ryan, once again, gives a look to his mom like, bro, are you trying to make me hate myself? Like, do you hate me as an individual? Like, what's the word on this, bro? Like, are you trying to set me up right now? But yeah, Ryan has to show up as well, whether he likes it or not. And so Ben and Ryan, they're separated from the parents. The parents are like, all right, we're going to go this way. You boys shop wherever you want. And so Ben is like, all right, follow me, dude. And he brings them to, like, the Hypebeast, super expensive, whatever store. And, yeah, so, they get in there and, Ryan's looking around a little bit. he sees this one shoe that he thinks is kind of sick. He's like, these are kind of like, these are kind of fire. Like, I actually could like pull these off. And he picks it up and he looks at the bottom and it's like $60. He's like, oh, hell nah, bro. I'm not trying to drop $60 on this. And like Ben turns around. He's like, are you going to get those? And Ryan is like, no, I don't think I am. And Ben's like, why? I think they look good on you. And Ryan wasn't really trying to say, oh, they're $60. I don't feel like spending that. Because he knew that like Ben was definitely going to have an out-of-pocket comment. And sure enough, like Ryan eventually is kind of pushed into the corner because Ben's like, I think they look good on you. Ryan's not going to lie and say that they wouldn't because they obviously were going to look pretty fire on him. So he ends up saying like, yeah, I just don't know if I want to drop $60 on it. And Ben comes up with the most out-of-pocket comment you've ever heard. He's like, well, I mean, bro, if you just grinded like I did, if you just worked harder, you would have definitely been able to afford that. And Ryan just turns around. He's like, dude, what? So Ryan's been holding it in pretty well, but at this point, he's like, nah, this is crazy. So sure enough, Ben keeps on going on like, yeah, I mean, I'm super hardworking, and for that reason, I can literally get anything I ever want, like at these stores. Like, that's what all this stuff I was showing you. Dude, I wasn't just flexing. I was trying to inspire you. Which Ryan was like, bro. Come on now. You were trying to inspire me by flexing those shoes your parents bought you. And he basically says, like, I don't understand. And, Ben goes on to say, well, because I'm working so hard, I wanted to show you what the fruits of my labor looked like. And the thing is, right, it's not like, I don't know, Ben had some like secret business, some drop shipping business or something, or he ran a chain of lemonade stands or something like that. Bro legitimately just like played like Call of Duty and like collected shoes. He just had credit card access to his parents' card, who really just didn't care how much he spent on it at this point. So like Ryan was just like, oh, man, like that's kind of ridiculous. However, there was one thing that like this kid, Ben, dude low-key messed up. Bro low-key messed up, bro. Because here's the thing. Ben's mom and Ryan's mom and Ben's mom, they were done shopping at whatever, and they wanted to go and get lunch. So they were walking in, and, Ben's mom's like, oh, I know the guys are definitely in that store over there. Because it's like the one store that Ben is always wanting to go to. So Ben's mom and Ryan's mom walk in. And they're walking up, and they can't seem to find the kids. However, Ryan and Ben were like one aisle behind them. So when Ben starts talking, Ryan's mom and Ben's mom are like, oh, that's where they are. But the thing is, right, they stop, like, Ben's mom at least stops walking over when he hears her son talk, when she hears her son talking, and Ben's mom hears everything that Ben says. So after that little conversation, Ben and Ryan are like, or Ryan's like, it's probably getting around lunchtime. Should we find the parents? And as soon as he says that, Ben's mom and Ryan's mom, they kind of like burst out from behind the scenes. And Ryan's like, oh, how long have you guys been here? And Ben's mom literally says long enough. Like Ben's mom was not having it right now. She was not happy at all. And like Ryan was kind of confused. He was a little worried that like, I don't know, his mom and like Ben's mom got another like fight or whatever, or just disagreed over something again. So he's kind of like, oh, geez, like, what's going on now? And that's when Ben's mom, instead of being mad at Ryan's mom or Ryan, goes immediately to Ben. And it's just like I overheard everything you said to Ryan, like, just a second ago. And Ben's like, what? About, like, how I'm trying to inspire him? Because, like, low-key, Ben didn't see anything wrong in what he was saying, which at this point, you guys might be blaming Ben, and I totally understand where you're coming from. But at the end of the day, kid is 13. At that age, you're really just molded by your parents at that point. So the fact that Ben was like trying to inspire Ryan by flexing and telling him to work harder, bro, was just because that was just the aura / energy / parenting that like his parents gave off to him, right? I mean, you're shaped by your parents when you're that young. But Ben's mom was not having it. She was like, I don't understand how you could possibly think that, calling out Ryan for not spending that much money on shoes will inspire him. And Ben's like, well, if he worked as hard as me, he'd be able to spend like I do. So I'm just trying to like inspire him to work as hard as me. And that's when because here's the thing. Sure, Ben's mom was a little bit like living on a different planet since she kind of had unlimited money too. But she grew up as a sister with Ryan's mom, and they grew up in a household where money was much tighter. So even though Ryan's mom or Ben's mom right now might have been a little bit delusional at some points, and especially, when she called out Ryan's mom for giving her a cheap present, that was probably like a little bit of delusion plus wedding day nerves. But she still had enough context, enough life experience, and real world understanding to understand how crazy of a statement that was. So she goes on to like berate the spoiled kid, basically saying like, I don't understand what you mean work harder. Like your dad and I have have mistakenly given you unlimited access to our credit cards. We thought that would make you like a better kid for some reason, or just make you happy, but it seems like it's turned you into like an ungrateful, spoiled brat. Like, what do you mean that you've been working like so hard or whatever? And Ben tries to justify that like that one time that he cleaned his room was like why he has like $100,000 to spend. And Ryan and Ryan's mom the entire time are kind of looking at each other, especially after the spoiled kid tries to justify why he can spend $1,000 on shoes every single day was because he cleaned his room once, and that was literally the epitome of grind set, and he's grinding, and that's like his hard work. Hard work pays off or whatever, right? And at this point, Ben's mom realizes that she messed up, that this is low-key on her, and that she's got to take a like quick evasive parenting maneuvers to try and fix the situation. So she informs like Ben that, the money he'll be spending from this point on will be 100% due to his like hard work or anything, and that he will be able to have the opportunity to get money from hard work by jobs around the house that she'll be paying out, and that he no longer has access to their credit cards. Ben immediately, right, and here's the thing. Like, I know for a fact that, like, Ben's mom was going to be like, hey, tie your shoes, here's $25,000, or, oh, go cut the grass for $1 million. Like, okay, maybe not that extreme, but she was definitely not going to be like, okay, if you work in the yard for 9 hours, I'll give you $10. That's low-key how it normally goes for 99.99% of kids, if their parents are even going to pay them. Like, most parents are like, dude, you have to clean, like, you clean the house, clean the, like, yard, do all this. We're not going to pay you, dude. Like, you're living under our roof. Like, you should be doing it either way. But you know for a fact that, like, Ben's parents were going to give him a ton of money for doing nothing. However, even though that was totally the case, Ben starts having a meltdown in the store because his parents cut him off from his credit card. Or not his credit card, cut him off from their credit card. He's like, that's so unfair. Like, you know that one of my hobbies is collecting expensive shoes. How on earth do you think I'll be able to keep up that hobby? Like, that makes me really different. Don't you care about college applications or something? Which, like, funny that, like, this kid who's 13 is, like, trying to leverage him buying expensive shoes as something that would get him into college. Yeah, right, bud. At this point, might as well just say that, like, you're a spoiled brat on your college application letter at this point. But anyways, he keeps, like, ranting on, and Ben's mom is yelling at him, like, you can't change my mind. Like, I know I created this monster, but I'm going to fix you too. And he's like, you can fix me by giving me unlimited access back or whatever. And Ben's like, well, I still have the credit card and you're not going to be able to take it back. So after he says that, like, Ben's mom literally calls up, like, the bank or whatever while they're standing there and says, hey, I want you to cancel card number, and says whatever, right? And Ben starts, like, crying in the middle of the store, like, Mom, no, you can't cancel that, Mom, no, please, like, I'm not a spoiled kid, I promise I'll show you. He's, like, having a full-on meltdown. Ryan is very, very, very uncomfortably sitting there, just kind of like, oh my God. Like, what am I supposed to do in this situation, bro? Like, I seriously don't even know what's going on. Like, what do I do, right? And after about 20 minutes of, like, Ben crying or freaking out or whatever, they all decide to just go back home at this point. And for the rest of the days, it's actually not a bad time. However, Ben is in the worst mood ever. Like, you'd come downstairs and you'd be like, how's it going? And he'd be like, terrible, I hate everything, and then storm back upstairs. But other than that, they had really good food and they went to some really cool places. And afterwards, on the car ride back, Ryan's mom was like, my sister's actually like a really cool person now. I think she was just going through a phase. And Ryan's like, well, I unfortunately, mom, I can't say the same for Ben. And Ryan's mom's like, yeah, I guess he wasn't as good as I was hoping he would be. And Ryan very jokingly says, "Hey, Mom, do you want to give me unlimited credit card access to your account?" And she's like, "Yeah, that sounds like a great way to raise my child." They both kind of laugh and they drive back home. And moral of the story is just don't be a spoiled kid, bro. That's all I'm trying to say.